Hey everyone! Today I want to speak to you about configuration files in Counter-Strike 2. First of all, I want to tell you that you can find a more detailed text version of this video on my website, csbpro.com, in the Counter-Strike 2 Guides and Tutorials section. We'll be operating with two locations: default configuration files in the Counter-Strike 2 game installation folder and user configuration files in the Steam installation folder. Let's begin with the user configuration files. User configurations are stored within the Steam installation directory, located in the userdata folder. In my setup, Steam resides on disk E. If you have a single Steam account, you'll find one folder corresponding to your Steam ID version 3. If you have multiple accounts, there will be a folder for each. Within your accounts folder, you'll encounter three key directories. Folder 7. This holds records of servers you've previously visited. Folder config. Here lie your Steam configuration settings, game launch options, friend information, and more. Folder 730. This is where the configuration files are stored. In my case, the complete path looks like this: Drive E, Folder Steam, User Data, Steam ID folder, 730, Local, and CFG folder. Now let's dissect the configuration files. cs2_machine_convars.vcfg. This file contains game settings. cs2_user_convars.vcfg. Here, you'll find player-specific settings like crosshair preferences, sensitivity, joystick configurations, volume levels, and more. cs2_user_keys.vcfg. This file houses user-defined key bindings, excluding default binds. It stores all customized player binds. cs2_video.txt. All video settings are stored in this text file. Configuration files can indeed be modified, but any changes made will be overwritten each time the game launches. This means that while alterations to existing commands will persist, any newly added commands will be removed. For instance, if I adjust the volume command's value, remove several commands from the list, and introduce a new one for an FPS monitor, the newly added command should be functional. Let's check. As you can see, the FPS command works fine. Upon relaunching the game, all commands have been reverted to their original state, except for the volume value, which remains at 0.2. These files can be set to write-protected status, preventing them from being overwritten when the game starts. However, I do not recommend this, as it may lead to missing changes during game updates or possibly cause game issues. Now let's talk about the CS2 user keys file, also known as the user's binds file. For instance, I will demonstrate how to create two bindings in the game to turn on and off the display of the current FPS. Pressing key C will enable the FPS monitor, while pressing key V will disable it. As you can observe, the binds are functioning properly. Let's check the file. The created binds are here. To remove a bind or binds, simply delete the corresponding row or rows in the file. The default configuration files are stored in the game folder within the CFG directory. Here, users can create and load their own configurations. These configuration files can be loaded manually from the game console or automatically upon launching the game. In my setup, one of the Steam libraries containing Counter-Strike 2 is installed on disk D within the Games folder. The complete path to the CFG directory looks like this: Drive D, Folder Games, Steam Games, Steam Apps, Common, Counter-Strike Global Offensive, Game, csgo folder, and CFG folder. To load your custom configuration, you need to create a CFG file in the same directory as the default configuration files. Begin by creating a text file using any text editor, then change the file extension from txt to CFG. In Windows operating systems, file extensions are hidden by default. To display file extensions, navigate to the Control panel, select File Explorer Options, go to the View panel, and uncheck the box that says Hide Extensions for Known File Types. Let's create the mycfg configuration file, and afterward we can load the file from the game console using the exec command. As you can see, the configuration file has been loaded. Just like in Counter-Strike 1.6 and Counter-Strike Global Offensive, user configurations can be loaded automatically using the autoexec.cfg file. This file doesn't exist by default and needs to be created manually. Within the autoexec.cfg file, you can input any console commands with the values you require, scripts, and bindings. Everything contained in this file will be loaded automatically each time you launch the game. To check for loading errors in Counter-Strike 2, you can enable developer mode using the DV launch option. Additionally, you can verify the execution of the echo command, the output of which confirms the successful loading of your config file. However, using the DV launch option is not recommended for regular gameplay. This mode can potentially impact performance. I suggest creating a dedicated folder for your config files to avoid confusion with other game files. Within the parent CVARs folder, create a subfolder where you will store your config files. Place your config files there and specify the path in the exec command within the autoexec.cfg file. In my setup, I've established a My Files folder to house my configs. The autoexec.cfg file loads the config.cfg file from the My Files folder, and the config.cfg file, in turn, loads the scr.cfg file where my scripts are stored.
Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more content like this, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss an upload. Your support means the world to me, and I can't wait to see you in the next video. Until then, take care and happy frags.